Thank you, Chairperson. Allow me to begin by expressing my sincere condolences on behalf of the Democratic Alliance to all of the families who have lost loved ones in service of our country through the South African Police Service. We stand together with the hard-working, honest, and professional police officers who put their lives on the line every single day to protect their fellow citizens. This shocking spike in police killings underscores, perhaps more than anything else, the near complete collapse of our security establishment in the country. When criminals don't fear consequences from the state, they become emboldened to commit more crime and even to attack the state itself by killing our police officers. So I'd like to take this opportunity to call on the Minister, who was silent in this regard during his budget speech, to commit meaningful action to his tough talk in previous budget speeches, where he has mentioned in every other budget speech his condolences to these police officers. What we now need is tangible plans, Minister, to turn the situation around. Solutions to the problem, not just tough talk. Budget speech after budget speech since your appointment in 2018 have left South Africans with a trail of broken promises and higher levels of violent crime. In the last 5 years, there has not been a demonstrable improvement in outcomes that make South Africans safer. And if South Africans are not safe, they are not free. Safety is a prerequisite for progress and prosperity. It is the foundation upon which citizens can pursue their dreams and realize their talents. Without safety, our nation will never prosper. The National Development Plan tells us that, and I quote, in 2030, people living in South Africa feel safe at home, at school and at work, and they enjoy a community life free of fear. Women walk freely in the streets and children play safely outside. The police service is well-resourced and professional, staffed by highly skilled officers who value their work, serve the community, safeguard lives and property without discrimination, protect the peaceful against violence, and respect the rights to equality and justice. End quote. Honorable members, this is a nice vision. 2030 is just 6 years away, and South Africa's safety and security environment has deteriorated dramatically in the last 10 years since the NDP was adopted by government. It is safe to say that the vision of the NDP will not be realized because government has been soft on crime and softer on the causes of crime. We have a government that talks tough and acts soft, a government that has lost control of law and order and allowed criminals to run rampant across our communities. Minister, when you took office in 2018, the president promised to halve violent crime in a decade. Halfway through that decade, and violent crime is on the increase, with murder up 20% since 2018. Violent crimes against women and children continue unabated. Organized criminal syndicates have become more sophisticated and better resourced than our own state security agencies, resulting in kidnappings, for example, having nearly doubled from 5,693 when you took office to nearly 11,000 in this last financial year. In every budget speech since your appointment as minister, you've dedicated your department's budget to the fight against gender-based violence, yet murders of women and children have increased by 28% and 17% respectively, and the conviction rate is dismal. We have repeatedly heard the president promise more boots on the ground, but this too has become a broken promise. In 2011-12, 10 years ago, the SAPS had 157,518 SAPS Act members. This decreased to 140,048 in 2022. These are the real numbers of the boots on the ground. And while you will inevitably stand up at the end of this debate and tell us of the thousands of new recruits to be deployed, you won't tell us about the net loss in personnel as a result of the restructuring of SAPS, which is seeing numbers, skills, and experience being lost every single year. And if you want proof of this claim, then you need look no further than your own budget. In this budget, compensation of employees has decreased despite promises of increased recruitment. In real terms, the budget for compensation of employees has decreased by nearly 5 billion rand compared to the previous financial year. Less money means less boots on the ground. Visible policing receives more than half of the budget's allocation of the department's budget allocation. Yet when you talk to community members across the country, they will tell you they never see the police and that it would be more appropriate to name this program invisible policing. What is shocking is that for the third consecutive year, the largest decrease in this department's budget is within this core service delivery program at a whopping 3.3 billion rand. Our detectives are overworked and underpaid, with almost every single detective that I speak to telling me that they have well over 200 dockets on their desk at any given time. we are losing valuable skills and experience in detective services because these SAPS members don't feel valued or supported. The result of this is a continued decline in performance in this program, a subsequent decline in detection rates. It's the reason we see low conviction rates, resulting in criminals no longer fearing the criminal justice system due to the low probability, almost extinct probability, that they will ever face consequences. Our CPFs are not adequately resourced, and while the 70 million rand committed by the minister is welcomed, it is unlikely to filter down to every single CPF in the country. The reality for CPF members is that they too put their lives on the line with little to no protection, and in many cases, no glow-in-the-dark vests. So many CPF members complain that SAM simply doesn't attend meetings, refuses to convene elections. In eKhomani, Queenstown, in the Eastern Cape, some CPF sectors are recognized while others are not. This is contrary to the ethos of community and partnership policing, and it must be addressed with urgency. The SAPS Reservist program has been completely gutted since 2011-12. There are 90% less reservists today than there were in 2011-12, from 52,000 down to less than 5,000 in just 10 years. The department needs to urgently develop that plan, Minister, to recruit retired police officers to come and bolster the ranks. But what we really need is to make sure that we bolster that reservist program as a force multiplier in our communities, particularly in rural communities, which are under siege from violent criminals against the failure of the SAPS rural safety strategy. All of the indicators which point to the realization of a safer South Africa for all and the fulfillment of the NDP are failing. The budgets over the last 5 years have not matched the promises, nor do they support the plans. And the facts? Well, the facts speak for themselves. South Africans will not forgive this government for compromising their safety and security and that of future generations. In 2024, the people of South Africa will rise up and vote for a safer South Africa under a new government.